Hey, good afternoon. Just looking at the clock, making sure it's 12, and it is 12 noon. Welcome to Bull City Notes. Actually, this is the Bull City Hangout. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. And with Bull City Hangout, we just basically I'm just checking in with you to see if everything is cool. I've gotten some interesting phone calls and what do you call those? Messages, DMs, whatever you call it, to check on my mental health. So I'd like to know how you're doing. Hope you're doing great. So what I'm going to do real quick is to tell you what's happening in Durham, and then hopefully we can hang out. Hopefully people will join us. I did invite a couple of people in particular. If you want to join in, that's fine. Just click on the link. I just added it to the chat. Click on that and join me on camera. Let me just show you a couple of things. Okay, the Durham Board of County Commissioners, they're going to be holding an online meeting tonight from 7 until 10. So if you go to the legalese page, and that's of course, the Durham Skywriter, durhamskywriter.com, go to the legal page, and then you'll be able to see the links. You can click on the links to see the agenda, and then also to watch the meeting live on YouTube. Okay, now you're invited also to watch the director's cut of Kenny Dalsheimer's documentary, You Gave Me a Song. That's a documentary about old-time music pioneer Alice Gerrard. That's going to be tonight at 7:30. It's going to be online, of course. And the link for signing up and also for watching the movie can be found on the Let's Go page. Also, this special screening is going to be followed by a Q&A with the filmmaker Kenny Dalsheimer, Alice Gerrard, and also film producer Ashley Melzer. So that's going to be again tonight, 7:30. I can't wait because I've had Kenny on, that was at least last year. It takes a while to put together a documentary, and he's been working on this for a while. And they were supposed to have been going on, I guess you call it a filmmakers tour or something, which of course had to be canceled. So we get to see it online tonight at 7:30, and I can't wait to see it because I love Kenny's work. Okay, also, that you should know about this, tomorrow morning, Local Pop's Story Time with Amy Godfrey, that is from 10:30 until 11. So gather the kids around and watch Story Time with Amy Godfrey tomorrow on Local Pop's Facebook page. All right, just a couple of real general things. Oh, if you hear things blowing around and chimes and birds and whatnot, it is so windy out. It's crazy. And my next door neighbor said that other cities really got hit. I didn't get a chance to really watch the news yet, so I guess we dodged a bullet, according to my next door neighbor. All we got was a whole bunch of wind. I see some more leaves than usual on my deck, but it's super windy. Right now it's 72 degrees and cloudy. It's going to be windy apparently for the next couple of hours. And I find it's hard to believe, but it's going to be sunny this afternoon and 79. You'll see. Tomorrow's going to be sunny, but only 66. I shouldn't say only, because I'll take that. A couple more things I want you to know. The Research Triangle Academy, 2418 Ellis Road. They have plenty of food to give away to young people, ages 18 and under. Here's how it works. They don't have to be present. In other words, you don't actually have to take the young people to the academy to be fed. Actually, you pick up the bagged meals and take them to your kids. Also, here's the thing. This is super cool. So if you know a bunch of kids, like in apartment complex, low-income housing, or like single homes, all, or townhomes all in the same, area, you can get a head count, get an accurate head count, call it in, and then parent and or staff volunteers will bring the bagged meals to you. And I think that's wonderful. Also, Kasib Abdullah, he has New Visions of Africa restaurant right next to W.D. Hill at 1306 Fayetteville. And this food giveaway that he has, it's every day during the week from 3 until 6. And there's no age limit with this one. So if you're hungry, need a meal, stop by New Visions of Africa restaurant at 1306 Fayetteville. And I'm not sure if the meal, I'm assuming the bags are probably, the meals are probably bagged, I'm guessing, because I'm accustomed to going in there and then they give you like hot food right there. So it's probably bagged due to safety because of the COVID-19 scare. So we'll see. Actually, what I should do is just stop by and find out. And I think it's what I'm going to do today, is stop by, see how they're doing, and be able to report back to you whether the food is going to be tasty in any case. So, and I know he has gigantic, huge giveaways on Sunday afternoons, and I'll tell you more about that later this week. So that is pretty much, oh, there's something really bad going around. Local criminals are trying to take advantage of the coronavirus scare. So what they're doing is that they're going door to door with like these fancy, fake notebooks, trying to look official, and they're asking for names and social security numbers. They claim to be gathering data for upcoming tests. As you know, more people need to be tested. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, be that as it may, these people are going around pretending to be official government workers or whatever, and that they're gathering data. In other words, they're asking for names and social security numbers. So they want your information. Obviously, what they're doing is stealing identities. We all need money. We're all wondering where these when these checks are going to be arriving. In the meantime, criminals are using their own tactics to get their hands on money. And in our case, if they steal our identities, what they usually do is to open illegal lines of credit. And sometimes, I don't know if they're able to actually get into your actual accounts. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're that good. Let me know in the comments below, or just let me know via messenger or whatever, how far these criminals can go with hacking and also stealing identities. I have no idea how any of that works. I just know that it's bad. So don't fall for it. Anybody comes to your door, just either don't answer it or just don't give them information. And even better, get their description and call the cops and give the description so they can be picked up, so they can be arrested. Also, now last week I said the Durham Visitors and Convention Bureau, they're now called Discover Durham. I forgot. So Discover Durham, they have compiled a list of local eateries that are open for pickup and or delivery. So the link can be found in the cover story of the Durham Skywriter, and that means that you can go there, click on the link, and find out which restaurants are open. Not all of them are open. I'm not even sure if all of my favorites are open. So just try to keep them in business. It's really difficult for these small businesses. You want to make sure that they are in business when all this blows over. You don't want to suddenly go to your favorite restaurant and find out, oh my God, they're out of business. So do your bit. Try to keep your local businesses in. Wear your masks, and be sure that you try to help them out by getting them some business. Hey, Alice Fuller's here. Let's welcome Alice. Let me click on her. Boom.
Hi.
What's new?
The wind.
I'm just looking out here. It's crazy. Oh, tell everybody who you are and about your show.
Oh, hi, peoples. I am Alice Fuller, principal consultant at Sheer Social. And indeed, I do a social media show called The Social Media Scene every Friday at noon on the Sheer Social fan page. Just Sheer, SHEER, social, SOCIAL.
There you go. So how do you help companies? I mean, a lot of people use those fancy words that you just used, but break it down. What do you do exactly?
Well, if you consider the words I just used fancy.
Mm-hmm. For some of us who aren't like really savvy. See, here's the thing, Alice. So no, really, so for real. Here's the thing. A lot of people in our business and who have been online for a while don't realize that the people who probably need your services the most are the least aware of the jargon that we use. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me say this in terms.
Break it down.
Let me just say it how I just said it, which is I am principal consultant at Sheer Social, and all I do is social media training and consulting, and I do social media management too of people's profiles. But I lean more toward management. I mean, I lean more toward the training and consulting and teaching. I like that more.
Mhm. So you help out with people understanding. You're really a huge proponent of LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want you to do. I want you to break it down a little more. You know,
Oh, okay,
LinkedIn.
okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I teach courses. Specifically, though, I really, really am passionate about getting people to understand that no matter your age, because I work with a lot of, your grown folk, 35 plus.
Mhm.
I work with young people too, but you're 35 plus, you're 45, all, the Gen X's and everything else. Getting them to understand this social media thing is not just a young people thing at all, at all.
Mhm.
And you can use these tools to share your expertise. And especially right now,
Mhm.
because with so many people being out of work, with so many people that are looking for a way to display or showcase their expertise, their talents, and things of that nature. Social media right now is probably one of the best tools you can use to express and display what it is you know. Hands down.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hands down.
Exactly. I wanted to point out one more thing. Now, I started this being in this media sphere, whatever I'm in Chicago, my hometown. And I was really surprised. Now, I was in a low income area, I was in Woodlawn. And then a few years after I was in Woodlawn, then the Woodlawn Scoop, which was the name of the paper, became the Woodlawn Inglewood Scoop.
Mm-hmm.
Inglewood was an even lower income area than Woodlawn, and
Mm-hmm.
it really needed information. And the paper was very well received. But here's what surprised me. Um, I don't know if it's just low income areas. I don't know if it's just black. I mean, I don't know. Most of the business owners were elderly. I was shocked. I mean, now we do go to a lot of black neighborhoods where like there's a lot of like hair places. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times those are young people, very often young people from the continent of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
have the hair braiding place. But for the most part, a lot of the traditional, if you want to call it, businesses, at least in the neighborhoods that I was in Chicago, were run by elderly people. And one gentleman in particular that he ran the Illinois Casket Company.
Mm-hmm.
He actually was the head of marketing, I believe, with IBM, and he was retired and decided to go into a whole different field. And then another business person was a retired fireman or fire chief or something from the north, just north of Chicago. And he moved back to his old neighborhood and opened a little grocery store. And I was shocked. I just wanted to pass that up because I think older people who think that the computer age is already past, I'm going to say us because I'm 64. I think we would make a wonderful market for people like you because we're running the businesses, but we're totally out of touch when it comes to the online experience.
Well, I think, knowing that our cultural history here in America, when we can explain why a lot of your business owners are an older generation, because for their generation, they had to create businesses because they couldn't go into white neighborhoods and
Okay.
get what they needed.
Mhm.
So then when their sons and daughters have businesses, then they do it a little differently. But
Mhm.
because they're so accustomed to doing it the way that they learned how to do it, when you've been doing a business for 30 years
Mhm.
and you've got your base,
Mhm.
your audience, and you know your customers pretty well. And so what you've been doing for 30 years has somewhat worked. And
Mhm.
so to try to transition into something new, you often pass that off to the next generation,
Mhm.
as opposed to saying, you know what? These tools are not hard to learn. If I could learn to use a calculator, if I could learn to use a computer,
Mhm.
if I could learn to use a software to do my accounting,
Mhm.
I can learn to do social media. Indeed, you can.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be something that, and then the other part about that too is a lot of your as I call old heads, they rely very heavily on referrals. I get all my business through referrals. I get that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get all my business through referrals. I don't need social media. Okay. So what happens when your referral network dries up, or heaven forbid they die?
And what about all
Then what
these
happens?
new people? Because Durham's population has more than, I think, doubled since the 80s.
Mhm. So this, if indeed you are a local business, as with any business, you have to evolve. If you're not evolving with your customer base, you'll be left out. Plain and simple. I mean, there is no other way to put it. Look at how Ebony magazine started, and then look how Ebony magazine dissolved.
Yeah.
And that really just comes down to, in many instances, not
Yeah.
being able to adapt to
Mm-hmm.
how your customer base now gets this information. People are not
Exactly.
buying magazines like they used to. So now we go online to get our celebrity news.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
look at Essence. Essence was able to kind of transition quicker than Ebony magazine was. So Ebony now still exists,
Okay.
but they now have a thriving website that's
Oh, I didn't
probably,
know. Okay.
yeah, so they probably now, that's probably now run by, younger people. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the people we grew up with Essence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, though, they were able to pivot. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
going to survive in this current digital age, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
be able to know how to pivot, how to change, how to adapt. And
Mm-hmm.
this coronavirus is forcing people to adapt. And for
Exactly.
all those people who were saying, well, you know what, I don't want to do live streaming.
It's fun.
Uh,
You see how fun this is, people?
I got news for you.
This is so
Uh,
fun.
do you want to continue talking to your customers? Do you want to continue sharing information? Well, I got email. That indeed is true. You do still have email. Email is not going anywhere. However, that's print. They can't
Mm-hmm.
hear your voice. They can't see your face.
Mm-hmm.
That human element is pretty much out of an email. When you do a live stream, you can see me, you can hear me. You as much as you want to touch the screen. That's this is as close as the human experience we can we can have right now.
High five. Boom.
Yeah, high five, high five. But at the end of the day, the reality of it is the
Mm-hmm.
coronavirus or the pandemic, or the fallout
Mm-hmm.
specifically, is forcing businesses all globally to look at technology a little differently and
Mm-hmm.
see the potential we've been talking about for years, and
Exactly.
using these social media tools, virtual conferencing, live streaming, and things of that nature. And I dare say when outside opens up again, as one guy on Twitter said,
Wow.
when outside opens up again, uh, how we're using these platforms now will probably not change.
Right.
People
Right.
will go back to doing business as they were, but
Mm-hmm.
now you see there are opportunities for yourself and for your business. You have another alternative now. You don't have to just do it this way anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. Let's give a couple of examples. I can imagine because the auto mechanics are still, in business right now because they're considered essential.
Yep.
Imagine your favorite mechanic going on Instagram saying, "Yeah, we're working on one of our customers. I don't know cars very well. Brake pads. Yeah, we're going to be, come get your brakes checked. Don't forget your car registration and all the kind of. I mean, you can say all that in 1 minute
Mm-hmm.
and say, stop by, Pookie's Auto Fix It place on Fayetteville Road or whatever. You know, you can do
Well,
a simple statements like that. I can
I would
imagine.
I would take that one step further
Oh,
and make it a little bit more relevant to what's going on right now.
okay.
And using video, if you are an auto mechanic and if you have a shop or you actually go to some place, you're not just doing them in your front yard, even if you are doing them in your front yard or backyard, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
People want to know that one, you're still in business. That's cool. That's wonderful to know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
people also want to know, how are you keeping me and you safe if you're working on my car, considering we're supposed to be doing social distancing?
Ooh.
So how have you thought that out? If you still want me to come to your business, right now in this era of social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
How are you making sure that we are not transferring the virus through our hands or through handshakes or through documents or whatever else? How are you making sure this business is safe for me to enter and safe for even you to use? So you could get on your Facebook page or your Twitter or whatever it is you have,
Yeah.
even your website if you know how to do it, or just use YouTube and then share it in your email if you want to do it that way, and tell people this is how we're making sure we keep the shop safe. This is how we're making sure we keep our customers safe. And that right there will set you apart from everybody else. Just talking about we still in business, come through. No, because I'm not just gonna come through. I needs to know before I come.
Is it safe to come through?
How is it safe to come there, and what you are doing as a business to ensure my safety, but as well as your safety. And that's just a matter of,
I hope they're watching this.
It's just a matter of transparency. Just letting us know what you're doing as a business to adapt.
Okay.
It don't have to be a Hollywood production. It doesn't have to be well scripted. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out. But people
actually, you don't want it to be too slick.
No,
really
you don't.
No.
No, you don't.
That's why too many people are worried about perfection, and I'm like,
yes.
no.
Yeah, we ain't got time for all that. We ain't got time for all that.
After all these years of doing this, I've never strove. Is that a word? To strive, whatever it is, striven to be slick. Just keep it real.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want people to be, profane and
no, it's not
all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't keep it too real. But yeah, reality is good.
Well, just keep it simple, as you were saying to me. You don't have to use fancy words.
I'm so glad you're on here, Alice, because I got another question. Okay,
good.
So a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, I need money." Everybody knows I bake the best pound cakes on earth, but I don't really have a business. And now that I'm at home, how can I let people know that they can buy my pound cakes now? Do you think they should go on Pinterest or Facebook, or is it too late for someone who hasn't actually established themselves as a pound cake maker?
Here's proof. Go on YouTube right now and look up fried chicken recipes. Okay, and here's why I say this. Okay. I just watched a woman probably in her 60s, give or take, teach me, who has yet to reach 50, how to do what do you call it? Mustard fried chicken. That's what it's called. Mustard fried chicken. Okay. And I'm thinking, simple setup, one camera, just her talking. No makeup, no big production, just her, some raw chicken.
No putting on airs.
No putting on air, no nothing. Some mustard, all her ingredients, and she's just talking straight to the camera. And so I'm looking at this, and then I'm looking at how many views. Now a view on YouTube is a little bit longer than on Facebook, because Facebook, they count 3 seconds as a view, which ain't really nothing.
Okay.
But on YouTube, you get, I think, is it 10 seconds or 30 seconds? I don't know, but it's longer than 3 seconds. At least you saw something. So she's got thousands of views.
Wow.
And she's been doing this a while because she had thousands of subscribers on her YouTube channel. And all she's doing is sharing her recipes. And then when you look at the comments, people are taking notes, talking about how, you remind me of my mama and how she used to do things. I'm going to try this recipe. Or they came back and said, you know what? I tried your recipe. My family loved it. Thank you. So if you're baking cakes, you can still bake your cake. Your first thought is to be of value to people. That's your first thought.
Definitely. Don't
go into it with the I just want to make cake sales. Because if you go into it with that mindset of making cake sales, all you'll do is push your cake sales. But what you want to do is provide value. In other words, tell people what makes your cakes different. You don't have to give up the secret recipe that your grandma gave you, that she went to the grave with, and and bequeath to you in her will. You don't have to give up the secrets, but you can tell people, share a little bit of your process, and then say, well, hey, if you would like this recipe, now in this day and time right now, I don't know if people are really, unless you're delivering cakes, unless you're set up with Grubhub or something of that nature, because even if you're trying to make sales, how are you going to deliver that in a pandemic?
Wait a minute, Alice. Okay, I've heard of Grubhub and those other companies that go to the fast food restaurants
and things of that nature. You need. I say that
can a regular person use them?
You know, I have the clue. I
That would
say
be
that
interesting, though.
you need a delivery system.
I
That's
like
my point. Either you're going to deliver it yourself, or quite possibly, maybe, I don't know what the rules and regulations are for a Grubhub or an Uber Eats, or maybe it's just Ray Ray and them. They got nothing else to do since they ain't in school, they're not in college. What else they got to do but deliver?
And they can cash app you the money.
And they can cash app. There's a
so you can make sure that it's not somebody just goofing around because they're bored because they're out of school.
Yeah, but there's plenty of ways to obtain the money. You can do the cash app, Venmo. We got all of those things too. Or you could set up a web page and do PayPal. I mean, you got plenty of options. And some people will call you and be like, "Can I just send you a check? When I get your check, you'll get your cake, not vice versa."
Western, if they ask for Western Union, it's a scam.
Yeah, thank you. You got to know your audience, but you'll still need a delivery system to get the product to the individual. And as you know, people do order cakes online. They do from various companies, but
when it's one of your neighbors though, and you know it was just baked, and you know their reputation. I mean, that's
Miss
awesome.
Miss Jackson, I'm gonna need you to put it on the porch. Now tell me, just call me, FaceTime me, whatever technology you know to use. Let me know when the cake is ready, and you can put it on the porch right by the door,
on the doorknob,
or well, you don't want to break. You don't want to put all that extra pressure on the doorknob, but at any rate, put it in a nice little bag. Because I know you got a drawer full of grocery store bags.
Yes, I actually do.
So go ahead and put the cake in the bag, tie it up real nice. Call me, and then I will come pick it up, and that's it.
Nice.
So, and if you
I hope people are using these ideas. They're gold.
Well, at the end of the day, I think right now the other thing that the coronavirus is teaching us too is how to be more neighborly. I think, when everything is good, we get in our own little circle and our own little world, and we just think of self. But when major catastrophes, when major traumas and things of that nature hit, natural disasters, you start thinking about, well, if indeed Miss Such and Such is your neighbor, and she's 60, 70 or whatever, and can't get out and should not go to the grocery store, and you are able to go to the grocery store,
check on them,
and she's supplying you cake, the least you could do is check on her and be like, Miss Such and Such, are you in need of anything? I'm on my way to the grocery store. Do you need something?
Exactly.
That's the least you can do. That's just good karma. Yeah, that's just good karma.
And I used to help an old guy who would give me a blank check with his signature. I would do the shopping, bring the groceries, and the receipt so he could see that I wasn't stealing his money. But yeah, and it worked because he never had the cash, but he had a check. And so there's ways of doing that. You can slip the check under the mat. However you want to do it. There's so many ways to help. In fact, as soon as we're done here, I'm actually going to call my cousin Julia and check on her and see if she needs anything. She's 95.
Wow, 95. That's a lesson. A couple of weeks ago, I did that with a friend of the family. I was in the grocery store, and it was just I just happened to hit on the right day at the right time, and there was toilet tissue at a time when everybody's going crazy about And so I know that she has an elderly. She helps take care of her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and so I know that toilet tissue, they need lots of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm in the store, and I go and I get in the car, and I'm like, Miss Such and Such, I'm at the grocery store. Do you need some toilet tissue? You want me to get you some?
Mm-hmm.
How many you need? Now I can't get all of them now, so we can't be greedy because we got to leave some for some other people. But I can
Mm-hmm.
get you one or two. Do you want one or two?
There you go.
Said, yeah, give me some.
That's
So
nice.
I
And
went. See, here's the thing though. I had to go back in the store because I'd already bought
ah,
for my own household.
mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna look bad. I'm gonna look so bad going back into the
You
store.
just say you're doing it for Miss Jackson.
Yeah, but they don't know that. All they know is she
She's
can't. She
back.
just left here with toilet tissue. That's all they know in the store. But so what I did was I went to another entrance, went to another cashier.
You didn't have to
Change
do
your
all
shirt.
that.
And
Take your shirt
so
in the car.
yeah,
Oh, we've just been joined by Guy Cook, hello, Guy.
hi
I
guy.
just I just popped in 1 second because I'm busy doing stuff. But you know what the
Move,
CARES Act is, right?
move
Mhm.
your face so we can see your face.
There you
There
Oh
go.
we go.
gosh,
Hi,
I'm
Guy.
sitting too far to the left. The CARES Act is the loan that they get from the government if your small business needs help, right?
Okay.
Staples Connect has got a great article. I got it from Route Six Tours, a website I work with, and I just updated the link, put in a video, and there you have it. So check it out at
This-
route6tour.com. If you've got a small business, that's where the link's at.
Okay. So wait, let me write it down. Wait. Oh, let me
It's
find
R O
it.
U T E, like route. Some people say route, but
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
and then the number six, and
Mm-hmm.
then tour, TOUR
Mm-hmm.
dot com.
Excellent. Thank you. You're always chock full of info.
Yeah, I have a lot of help. Hi, Alice.
Hi,
Where are you at, Alice?
and
And
Raleigh.
don't. Oh, that's good. She didn't say I'm in the kitchen.
Oh
Oh,
no,
Yeah,
no.
well, she's professional.
she is. She has her home office and everything.
Yeah.
Oh
My
wow.
office is wherever me and my computer exist.
You
That's
know,
Yeah.
I used to think that too, Alice. And I'll tell you a little story about how the garden shed at the backyard got converted. I was
Mm.
at my desk, which was in the dining room, doing my thing, talking to clients, whatever. My two sons, teenagers at that time, I think, it was before Stephen moved to Eastern Washington, so he must have been like maybe 13, seventh, eighth grade or something like that. And they had a water fight going on.
Mm.
Water and computers,
Oh
Alice.
yeah.
You
Oh
feel me?
boy.
mm-hmm.
I said, this is the wrong spot. I spent, I think, $600, bought some paneling, insulation, and so forth, and moved everything out in the garden shed. And that was really good until when we sold our house, the guy that comes around and makes sure everything's cricket before you go on the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the inspection and he goes, what's this? He's pointing at the power line that's running from the corner of the house out to the garden shed. So my
Uh-oh.
computers would work. Got to have electricity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't high enough off the ground. This is illegal. You can't have this. Okay. So the kid that we hired to fix the front doorbell, I said, oh yeah, I'll give you extra whatever to take out that power line. And he zip zop 10 minutes and it was gone.
Wow.
And there was no longer power into the shed, but
That's too
all
bad
they had
though.
to do is run a conduit and they put it
Mm-hmm.
underground. They could do it. Hi, Barb.
We've just been joined by Barb Tomlin and actually Alice. Barb is like we're talking OG in terms of computers and stuff and online and all that sort of thing. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking super expert. Yeah.
No big deal. So,
And
Alice, did we meet Alice before?
first
I
time for you.
It's
I
your
don't
first
think
time.
so. No.
So I'm coming in late because I had to help out in another show. But tell me about you. Can we do that just a quick round? Because I know the
Absolutely.
three of you and
I'll give you the quick version. Alice Fuller, principal consultant at my My business is called Sheer Social. I do social media consulting, training. I do also some management of people's profiles, social media profiles, but primarily I do consulting, training, and teaching.
Uh-huh. Do you have an online teaching platform of choice for your classes, or I mean, are
Mm,
you Zoom or
I've explored a couple of them. I've done Udemy or Udemy, depending on who you ask.
Udemy? I'm a
Udemy.
Yeah.
Udemy gal. I have
You to me.
completed over it's something like close to 500 courses now.
Whoa.
Completed
Gee
because
whiz.
I chose to take them versus watching reruns on television.
Mm,
And it's kind of like people do crossword puzzles. It helps me to stay in the game, stay alert, keep my skills current. So really good that way.
Awesome.
oh,
But
that reminds me too. For people that are really delving into online courses, be sure you take something that's current. Because sometimes if you're not, if I mean it's true
very
because at the end of the day, if you're doing a course about anything digital and marketing, you
So
want to make sure
my
that it's
my certification for Windows XP support
good.
probably
Right.
thank you.
okay.
And I guess if you
I understand exactly what you're saying, Alice.
Yeah, you need to
Oh,
make
Yeah.
sure. Look at the year
hmm,
before you invest in that. Make sure it's nothing that's five. If your social media course that you're taking
Hmm.
is, I'd say, even 3 years old, it's already outdated.
Right.
so if
It's
they're
already
asking
outdated.
so if they're asking you to fax in your number, then
Oh, well,
it's
people still do that. I'm like, you want me to do what? A fax? A fax? You don't have
yep.
email? Can I just scan it to you and send it to you via email? Same thing.
scan it. Oh boy.
True story. Alice is the trigger that made me think of this. Years ago, I did marketing for an ISP, a little ISP in Silverdale, Washington. And one of the hats that I wore as part of that gig was I went to the bookstore, like I think once a month, and talked about the internet because in the 90s it was all oh wow, about the
Mhm.
internet. So we did the standard dog and pony show. These are the protocols you use, HTTP and blah blah blah. And it was going really good until one night somebody said, "What's the best book I can get for the internet?" And I said, "Well, when you pick up the book, I'm guessing it's about 6 month old information because by the
Mhm.
time the editors go through
Oh
dotting the I's
yeah.
and crossing the T's,
Yeah.
Oh
they
yeah.
run it through the printer press and it gets to the bookstore, we've already gone past that. Okay.
Wow.
So there's really not a good book unless you get the Internet for Dummies online or something like that because it's kept up date.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
that's why too you see so many marketers selling their courses for dirt cheap right now.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, this
Because
is a $5,000 value, but I'm giving
you
it.
can get it for
Oh,
$17 if you act now. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
is that why?
That's why.
And
Because they,
if you pay right now, we'll send you another course. Well, there's be a shipping fee, of course.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
And don't
that's
forget
right.
to mention 6 figures.
yeah. I mean, come
Yes.
on. It's like buying a Mercedes. It's like, well, Mercedes is valued. I don't even know how much a Mercedes is valued. But if somebody sells you a Mercedes for $500, you should know
It
Yeah,
what's
might
wrong
be
with it, how
yeah,
old is it,
exactly.
yeah. Oh,
how many
you
miles
wanted
are
to
on it.
have an engine? Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's extra.
exactly.
That's under the options. You didn't turn the page on the back because all the options you can
Exactly.
get with this $500.
Exactly.
I don't think you could even get a seat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the $500 covers just the floor mats that are in the car.
There you
Anything
go.
beyond the floor mats is extra.
Maybe two floor mats.
I
Yeah,
think
so
we
just
follow me.
be wise, people. Make sure that the information you're getting, anything with digital, anything is current. Because
Right.
otherwise you're buying outdated strategies, outdated. I mean, think about it. If we're talking about social media
Mhm.
and there's no mention of Instagram or TikTok, because that's going to be something people are going to be talking about for the next couple of years. There's no mention of the various algorithm changes Facebook is going through or what Facebook is focusing on right now. There's no mention of Facebook Messenger. There's no mention of live streaming and things.
Yeah. Not worth it then.
No,
One of the things that I do as a geek is I go into the web page information. If you right click on it, it says show me the information, and it'll tell you what date that article was written.
Mm-hmm.
And if it says 2018, then you run away screaming and say, "Thank God I checked the date." Because a lot of times I'll curate something thinking, "Oh, this is good stuff," and it's not so good.
Yeah, it's kind of like milk.
Wow.
Check the
Yeah,
date.
yeah, it's got that
Yeah.
odor.
Yeah, check the date.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to doing what I'm doing. The
Thanks, Guy.
small business thing. Tell
Route6tour.com.
Yeah. If you go to route6tour.com, you get a link for information about the CARES Act for small businesses for that loan stuff.
Uh-huh.
How
Yeah.
it works. It's
Yeah.
they said in the article that it's a 4-minute read.
There's
I didn't time myself,
yeah. I'm
but it
up
makes
on
sense
that.
of it.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Guy.
See you
Appreciate
later.
it. Okay.
Alice Knight's meeting you.
Like so.
Did I say goodbye? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Alice teaches at places like the small
Business
the
administration.
Durham Tech,
Tech, Wake Tech.
Durham Tech Small Business Center, and actually all of the courses, of course, are now webinars. They're now in person. And just last week, they did have a webinar on the CARES Act, which is the
Right.
coronavirus act. I think it was well, it doesn't matter what the day is, but I do hope that they make it available after the fact, because I looked for it to see if you could watch it after it was aired live.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's available, but I hope they make it available, because it was for the small business owners. Yeah,
That would be
You're
wise.
talking about the program through the Small Business Administration, right?
exactly.
Through
Exactly.
centers. Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
gonna put it on the website.
It's up there. And actually, if you go to coronavirus.gov,
Mhm.
there's a small business link.
Okay,
and
good.
it sends you out that direction anyway.
Okay.
I have lots of friends who actually are in the management and SBDC centers. And I'm so OG, Alice,
Mhm.
that I was the lady who put the first bulletin board service up for the Small Business Administration before the internet was commercialized. Ooh.
That's OG.
That's about as OG as it gets. And do you know that board was actually located, the physical location, the computers that operated that was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and working with the Albuquerque Journal. So, I'm sorry, it was working with the Albuquerque Tribune at that time. Yeah.
So you actually know what all those old terms are that I think of, like BBS and CompuServe and all that other stuff.
That's what in my 30s I was 30. I had contracts with CompuServe, then
Prodigy
and AOL. Yeah, all before we went to the commercial side. But I also had an EDU account. The internet was available to the educational community and scientific and government before it was available to the commercial side. So really, really OG.
Okay. Actually, Alice and I were throwing around ideas that people could use, because again, people need money. They're home. They're not. Some aren't able to. Some are working from home. Some aren't able to work, but they're just home, laid off or whatever. So, can you think of any ideas, Barb, where people can use the internet to make money with? The example I gave was a lady who's known for making pound cakes, and now that she really needs money, maybe she's going online on Instagram or whatever to show the different pound cakes that she makes and the fact that she's selling them now.
Yeah. There are a multitude of ways to make money online. I've been doing that since '86. But you start with you and your own community and what your community needs, and really becoming aware of what the shortcomings are and helping people.
Mhm.
And if you've been blessed and you're able to be social and out there and feel very comfortable with that, and Alice, you better strike a smile up here anytime now, because
Oh,
I'm beginning
sorry.
to. Do you own one?
Do I own one? What? Do I own
A
what?
smile?
Oh yeah, I was
Oh.
smiling moments ago. My mind drifted into what I was thinking about, the cake lady,
Uh-huh.
and she said she was on Instagram, and I was thinking now on Instagram at this point, because Instagram, like Facebook, isn't as easy to generate an audience like it used to be. Okay,
Oh.
but even on Instagram, I would still say just posting the photo itself, I don't think she'll make the sales.
Correct.
I think go the extra mile and show your process, because
Mhm.
in showing that process, that's how people see the value in what you do.
Mhm.
Because if you just post a picture, anybody could have cooked it, technically.
Mhm. That's
Anybody could
true.
have cooked that.
You're
Plus,
But when,
I think it's best to you want to make a connection with your audience.
yeah, you want to make, but not only that, but let people
Well,
see.
actually, I'm not going to say audience. I'm going to say neighbors.
Well, neighbors, okay.
Yeah.
Neighbors, audience.
Mhm.
So showing your process, let people see you in your kitchen, doing what you do, making those cakes with love.
Mhm.
there
Uh,
she goes. Oh, isn't that a beautiful smile? As when we can
and
get
then
that out of her.
as you're going about making those cakes, and you tell your stories,
Mhm.
and if there is indeed a story behind the recipe, in many cases it is. So now
Mhm.
you're providing value, you're providing entertainment, and then that in and of itself will push people closer to buying the cake, because they're not just buying the cake, they're buying the feeling that they got
Ooh.
watching you make the cake. Because we know
Oh.
a lot of purchases are based on emotion. They're not just based on a need.
Nostalgia and
Right now, it's just like, do
yeah.
I really, really need a cake right now? No. But because I like her and I like that story, because the story she told resonates with me and my mother, my grandmother, and what we used to do, and I want to support her, I'm going to buy one of her cakes.
I
And
like
then
that.
I'll tell other people to buy her cakes.
I like that a lot.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't. Have you met Aaron Roth of Archon Mounts, Alice? Both Patricia and I are in a special group of live streamers, but that Aaron is in. But he specializes in making mounts to help folks in live streaming, and he's very popular on. He started out on Periscope, wasn't
Oh,
it?
for sure. Oh, yeah. He was all over
And
Periscope.
and the only reason I bring that up is because you brought the cakes up. I
Hmm.
think it was just this last week. He featured, um, you know, community making cakes online.
Hmm.
Oh,
You can find him, and the page would be Archon Mounts, right, Patricia? I'm not
uh,
even. I think it's Archon
probably.
Mounts,
Yeah, it's definitely
but
Archon Mount.
but
And isn't
that's
his
a
name?
great example.
Isn't his name Arvin? Is it Arvin?
It is Aaron Roth,
Is
isn't
it
it?
Aaron? Okay.
Yeah. Let
Okay.
me
I don't know.
that.
But
Oh,
Archon Mounts for sure.
right. I'll have to. I'll check it again. We all know him as Archon Mounts, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's AARON.
Oh, that's yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm often wrong when it comes to names.
Yeah, me too.
So
So,
so
but
I think this is a good time for people to think of those skills that they have and put them to good use and
uh,
market them to their neighbors.
just asking how you can help can open up the doors
Hmm.
uh, to all kinds of opportunity.
Hmm.
And just being present with them, being aware of what's going on. And, it's not necessarily what can I make off of it, but
Hmm.
how you can make a difference with what you do.
I like
And
that too.
then molding it into your business model, if you
Hmm.
will. For instance, I have a girlfriend, she's a balloonist and in ballooning, you have to have your transportation is typically very expensive because you've got to have a van or a really huge truck to be able to carry things. And
Hmm.
so she turned that into an opportunity to carry packages to neighbors in her community because they couldn't get out. Elderly people couldn't get out, and
Hmm.
it wasn't even, they had opportunities. And so she would go and pick up their food for them. And of course, she demonstrates in her lives how she dresses, protects herself, protects her community, and how she serves them at the same time. So she's repurposed what
Mhm.
she normally does, because the FAA is grounded pretty much, all of the ballooning activity, all of the flight activity that's non-essential.
Mhm.
And so it's another way to turn it around. But there's really a multitude of ways, and you have to look within to begin with. And who are you reaching? I mean,
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
your neighbors that start at home, one of my concerns in being online all this time was like, you know, because of where we were back then, in the 80s and 90s, is that it was so far out there that I didn't dare mention to my neighbors what I did.
Mhm. The
It's
internet, what's that?
well, before the internet, and she's
Oh.
working on this and that. I'm working from home. I was a mom raising my child, but because I was computer savvy and people savvy,
Mhm.
the bulletin board systems, were awesome, and even, got me opportunities in the federal government, and just it just really set the stage for my whole future business wise. But the thing was, when it became time, and that's actually when I met Patricia, we were beta testing a product about bringing people together,
Mhm.
and visually here on screen, this is what we all were really striving for, so we could just connect and communicate. Because here, are you in North Carolina too, Alice?
Mhm.
Yeah. So here you are in North Carolina, and I'm out here today in Oregon. So I'm
Amazing.
clear across our country, and we're connecting. And you get the feeling just from watching me, interacting with me, that there's a real person here doing that. It's not a puppet. Trust me,
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
a puppet.
Mhm. Mhm.
and and that's the whole thing, is that we can bring that communication now by starting in our neighborhood. And one of the best destination websites is nextdoor.com,
Oh
and
yeah.
the
Yeah.
initiatives that they have put for the neighborhoods. But I took mine because, you are familiar with what's in your neighborhood. And yes, I did get out there in my neighborhood. We had what we call block captains in our
Mhm.
community, and our city worked with us to try and keep safety at the forefront. And so there was always someone in real life representing their area in the community. But now people are stuck at home, and right next door they're watching Amazon packages being delivered. They're
Mhm.
watching them being stolen. Some folks
Oh
are.
no. I hope not.
It's
I
like,
hope not.
oh, it's terrible. Albuquerque is got a really high theft rate. I will just say, as far
That's
as
too bad.
it's like everybody needs to have IP cameras. They need to look at those laws that they created about IP cameras in some cities. Some cities do allow them very easily, but you in your neighborhood, you're right there, your neighbors next door, are they okay? How do you
Mhm.
communicate with them? Are they online? And so taking that step, even if you have to, if you will, send a balloon next door, a
Mhm.
helium inflated balloon with a message, are you okay? If
Mhm.
you don't
Mhm.
know who they are, but taking that first step, or uh, like the message in a bottle, if you have a bottle there, and just writing a note and say, I'm
Mhm.
online, this is my email address or whatever, to make that connection start, because you will be amazed at what's in your own neighborhood. It's
Right.
it's a time of awakening. It's not that they didn't have the tools; they didn't have the incentive to use them regularly. They were going through life offline, and now it's like it's right in front of their face. If they want to stay connected with their
Mhm.
kids, their grandkids, with their employers or potential employers, they have to step up to the plate. So for someone like you, where you've specialized in using the tools, can show them that, then it's start where you are. And because not any one of us, in regardless of occupation, you can't serve everyone as one individual. other than by messaging.
Right.
And so then we can combine all of, and I'm sure Alice is fully aware of this, but all the digital applications and opportunities there are as well. But they have to take that first step.
Mhm.
And it starts in our communities. What county are you in, Alice?
Wake.
Oh,
Yeah, she's right next door. I'm in Durham, and she's in Raleigh, so it's right next door.
oh, Raleigh's
And
pretty. Yeah.
and actually, I just want to throw out another idea. I've shared this idea before, but I hope you don't. If you've heard this, let me know. But anyway, I grew up in Chatham, in Chicago. We Most of the Black folks who moved in at the same time are. Let me put it this way: it was an Irish moving in, so there was a white exodus, and then it seems that at least in my immediate area, we all moved in at exactly the same time. They all the parents were pretty much exactly the same age, so they all started dying off at the same time,
Oh,
and
wow.
getting old at the same time. So in the 90s, there was this young lady in the neighborhood, and like you said, taking inventory of your community, find out what the needs are. She realized that all of the homeowners were elderly, and so what she did, she made a business out of creating meals that could be easily microwavable, full meals in nice like Tupperware type
Mm-hmm.
packaging. And she had two different lines. She had a 5-day line for people who only needed dinners during the week because maybe they were visiting with their kids on the weekend. And then she had the 7-day plan so that you could eat, you can buy a dinner for every day of the week. And so she was making an inventory, but she had already, like you said, Barb, checked in with the community. So she already knew a lot of old people. And it's not like she like suddenly marketed to them. But once the word got out that she was making dinners for like my mom, for example, and said, "Oh, Miss Murray where is she getting these beautiful dinners from?" And then it got passed from house to house, and eventually Pam had a business of making and delivering dinners.
Exactly.
So it's kind of good to know your community, and
Exactly.
and also kind of good to know what's needed in the community.
Right.
I'm sure there's communities with oodles of little kids, and people who are maybe like me, who are toy makers, can eventually make themselves known to those areas.
Well, they also serve as your initial, they're your tribe, your initial fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And if you deliver great products and services right there, and those are people who know you, it's like, oh, yeah, well, Pat lives down the street and so forth. Whether I met Pat or not in person, it adds further credibility
Mm-hmm.
to the online persona. So,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. So, do you have any more ideas to share? I mean, you probably got stuff to do. I'm gonna get back to
I've got
work,
to
and
run because,
yeah.
my corgi kids, I can see that there's nothing happening out there right now. And when, just like real life
Why,
children,
why, why don't you share the screen for 30 seconds so we can
well,
show Alice your little puppies that we see every day? Well, not every day, every time you're here.
so who knows what's going to be now? It's like I said
There they
that
are.
both of them are coming out. Look at that.
Okay, cute.
So
Cute.
today, what I did is I took Tabasco sauce and mixed it with the water at your suggestion. Remember, we were
Hmm.
talking about that?
Yeah, they're
And
eating the door frame,
right.
Alice. They chew on the door frame all
I think
day.
they've lifted the Tabasco sauce off, but it was hilarious I, when I sprayed it.
Hmm.
And King was out there by himself, and I have pictures of him just going at it. I said, "Whoa, wait a minute." So I went in and did what you said,
Hmm.
mixed it all up, came back out and sprayed it. And of course, he thought, "Oh, she's doing that for me to make it taste better."
Mm-hmm.
I bet
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah.
that's so cute. That is so cute. Yeah, I just wanted Alice to see your little puppies.
We
They're so
can. It's
cute.
so hard to get Alice to smile, girl. You
Uh,
have a beautiful
actually,
smile.
actually, if you watch her show on Fridays at noon,
Uh
she
huh.
smiles a whole lot. Alice is intense.
Is she
The
tired?
perception versus the reality. At this point, I do
Better
not have a
coming on,
do not have a this is my resting itch face, as the young people would say. And so at this point, I'm just sitting here, but the thought to sit here and do this is
Well,
not
you
That's
don't have
right.
to smile. Why? That's different. You can look at it on film afterwards. You can watch when you put the keyword love in there, just how when you say love, your whole face resonates.
Yeah,
You know
but at that particular time, I was talking about uh, that particular story and her using live video and how she could do her live videos and things like that. So I wasn't smiling on purpose then because I was
right.
speaking then. And like right now, my face is a tad more whatever you want to perceive it as because I'm talking
There she
about.
goes.
But at the end of the day, this is just me. Just
No, that's cool. I mean, we love you, Alice. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
we
uh,
don't
you're a
we
beautiful young woman.
we don't when our faces are at rest, they don't always
Right.
they're
I
not
didn't.
always at rest with a smile, and that's fine.
yeah.
That's,
I did
yeah, that's fine.
not smile regularly until we connected through Blab IM.
Man, I miss Blab right about now. Blab would
Uh,
be perfect right about now.
yeah. And what through that change and through the excitement of being able to just come on and chat and
Mhm.
connect with people the way that we had envisioned for decades made all the difference in the world. And my mother said to me a long time, she goes, "You got to smile more." But like you, Alice, I was very intense.
But I'm not intense.
I can tell that
That's
you
what Pat
Because
are.
said. That's what Pat
Yeah,
said. I'm passionate, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm intense.
it's not the
well,
same thing.
No,
Okay.
not
perhaps,
necessarily.
yeah, perhaps that's a generational thing, but I can assure you that you're a brilliant woman just by
Yeah,
looking at you. I know that. I mean, you don't have to tell me. I can
Oh yeah.
tell just by the way that you present yourself, how you, and what you say and do. So, no doubt in my mind. But the smiling thing, I don't do that by being forced to smile now. Now it comes naturally because in my brain up here, it's like I choose to be positive in whatever I do. And it just seems, and it's a challenge. That's an exercise in itself. And I thought, because I could see reactions, and my mom used to tell me as a child, she says, "You've got to smile more because when you get older, you'll have this frown line." I even
No,
had a
nothing wrong with
pouty
that.
bear. I even had a pouty bear, believe it or not, for years. And
Yeah.
so I just said, that's it. I choose, and it's up here in my brain. It's like I choose to be happy
Mhm.
every day. And
Yeah.
I can even
Well,
smile when I cry now. That's what
but
that
but Barb, I know
yes,
you're older than I am, but I'm just going to tell you, not smiling does not mean you're not happy.
it
absolutely
doesn't.
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's just
That
because
Are you?
I actually smile more now because I didn't know what I looked like until Blab. I mean, I
oh
only looked in the mirror to fix my hair and brush my teeth.
yeah.
I'm
I get
serious.
it.
Man,
It's
I
like, is that what I look like? Oh
I
my
miss
God.
Blab. Oh,
yeah.
Blab was so
I
perfect
know,
back
I
in the day.
know, I
That
know.
reminds me, are you doing any DJing online, Pat?
No, because I see DJs. I mean, but they're the rocking the on the ones and twos kind of DJs, and I just play music.
I had a friend of mine from
You know.
Hampton, Virginia, not too long ago, and she's not a DJ; she's a journalist by trade.
Hmm.
And literally, all she did was, I'm assuming, she used iTunes, probably like iTunes
That's what I
or
use.
Spotify, and all she did for an hour was play old school R&B music.
But
Ain't
what
no,
did she do?
huh?
What did she? Because most of the DJs I see, they're trying to push the buttons and they're like,
Yeah, no, 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 no. Nobody's expecting you to be, scratching and things of that nature. Mm-mm.
Right.
hmm
No.
okay,
But all she did literally was when one song ended, she played another one. There was no
She didn't
extra
bring
to
her
it.
personality into it, huh? She
No,
didn't
really
you
wasn't.
needed.
Just chilling in
Wait
her
a minute. Did she
playing
get an?
music.
She got an audience with that.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
She did, and I don't even know. I think she put up a post that said at this time on this day, I'm going live, and that was it.
Because actually on Periscope, I actually used to play music live on Periscope, showing instead of my face, I would show the I forget what you call it. iTunes has this abstract art thing that goes to the music. I would show
that.
I would show that and play music.
No, it was real simple. Just her sitting.
I haven't done that in a while.
What you waiting on?
With the way that the guidelines are on Facebook and on streaming, and I mean that's an issue we ran into on Blab as well, is because of music copyrights, the rights to use music. There's certain, and Facebook has actually populated their music library, and is working on getting additional rights for us to be able to use music on Facebook. But typically what happens, you can catch it in a live stream if they're using without permissions, is you can catch it on a live stream for a period of time, and then the AI kicks in and it takes it down. And
well,
then
that's precisely
lose their accounts. And Patricia and I know people who've lost their accounts and come back.
That's precisely why I was on Periscope.
Well, one, I did it. Well, there's a couple of things. The DJs are basically doing that on Instagram. Now we already know.
Okay.
And when you go, but they've been doing it on Facebook for however long. Now Facebook acquired rights from Sony, from Warner, like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and from European labels or whatever, the major one over there about 2 years ago. And so, yeah, they do, just like YouTube. They have their own not private, but they have their own public library. Because I talked about on the social media scene. So they have their own library of music. Now, generally speaking, when my friend Mickey went live on Facebook, now 9 times out of 10, the recording, that's not going to fly. Not going to fly at all.
But live is okay.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say live is okay, but what people are getting away with is she only streamed for maybe 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And when I did it, because what I did was when DJ Nice went live, I went live on Facebook and I had his Instagram on one side and me on the other.
I saw that.
Yeah. And so I went live for about 45 minutes before, and I was using Ecamm.
Okay.
And so I went live for about 45 or maybe 45, almost an hour, close to an hour before Facebook started sending some little message or whatever, which I knew was coming. It was just a matter of when it was coming.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, like I said before, don't expect the pre-recorded to stay up at all. Facebook probably sends you something. Facebook hasn't really sent me anything outside of, because I went live 3 times that same night.
Really?
Yeah, Facebook hasn't sent me a thing. So, I wasn't trying, the main reason Facebook does that is because they want to monetize it. They want to be able to take your stream, and then later when they feel like it, they want to be able to put an ad somewhere in it, but they can't do that with your recorded video because it's copyrighted material. But once they get there, they'll be like YouTube, because Facebook be YouTube. And so when they get their licensing together, which they basically secured at least 2 years ago, they'll figure out a way so that users can take advantage of that and not just celebrities and things of that nature. So I still say you could go live for maybe 45 minutes to an hour on Facebook. And probably not experience them, taking down your account. And here's the other reason why I say that too. Right now, I would be willing to bet Facebook, because Zuckerberg and his whole crew, they see what is happening on Instagram with the DJs playing music. And when you get 150-something thousand people on an Instagram live, which is what DJ Nice did, the first night, 150,000 people on Instagram on one stream. One stream. You mean to tell me Facebook is not looking at that like, damn, I wish he'd done it on Facebook? Because Facebook is competitive. They don't let any other social media platform do better than them. Not even if they own it.
Wow. Okay.
You know what? 150,000 people on one stream. Man, I wish they had done that on Facebook. All that traffic we could have
That
had on
would be
Facebook.
that sounds sweet.
All those young people that we no longer have on Facebook or over on Instagram having a pure party, and they're not doing it on Facebook. And even though we own Instagram, we sure would love to have them young people back on Facebook like that.
Interesting.
So that's why right now you
Okay,
can get away
I'm,
with things.
I'm going to give it a serious thought. I will definitely do that.
Get you a little
Thank
DJ set together, because I'm telling you, all she played was 80s R&B music.
Nice. I could do that easily.
The Spinners, all them 80s groups, late 70s, 80s groups.
Mm-hmm.
All she played.
Yeah, I'll give that a thought. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you, Alice. Thank you, Barb. And folks, be sure to watch Alice's show. Tell us about your show on Fridays at noon.
Oh, Fridays at noon. I do the social media scene right at noon, wherever you are in the world. That's noon Eastern Standard Time. If you're on the West Coast, that's what is that, Pat? That's 9. That's right. It's 9 a.m. It's 9 a.m. on the West Coast, and if it's Central, whatever, it's 12 o'clock my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. And so every week I do a wrap up of what is happening in the world of social media. But as you know, right now, it's all about the Rona and what the platform.
Actually, it seems to be all about Zoom. Everybody's talking about Zoom.
It's about Zoom though, because Zoom is real popular, primarily because it's free. Because you can do a lot with free on Zoom.
Okay. And for those who are just dropping in, Zoom is it's a, you wouldn't call it a live streaming app, would you? It's more of a meeting.
Technically, it's video conferencing is what you call it in that particular, but it's still a live stream, however you look at it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But it's just a virtual meeting, and everybody's live like we are now. But we're, if you're streaming to Facebook, in that particular case, you wouldn't stream it to Facebook. You would keep it right there on the Zoom platform.
Mm-hmm. I see.
But you can, but you can if you want to. If you want to stream your meetings to Facebook, you can, because there's an integration between Zoom and Facebook. If you want to do that.
Well, I always tell people to check out StreamYard, which is what I'm using now.
Mm-hmm. It's nice, real simple too. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, let me just tell the people watching and watching later, especially with StreamYard, there's a free version. I buy the pro version because you see the Durham Skywriter logo. I want to be able to show my logo, so I pay for that. But you can actually broadcast to your Facebook page and or your YouTube channel. Right now, it's live on the Durham Skywriter page on Facebook and also on the Patricia A. Murray channel on YouTube.
Can you do groups?
What?
Can they? Will it stream to groups?
I think just pages.
Okay.
Just pages. And some people actually, because I think Tachi, she's on StreamYard now with her show on Wednesdays at 6 Eastern, Mediascope. And I think she also broadcasts to LinkedIn and Periscope. I don't know how she does all that.
Wirecast.
Oh.
I use Ecamm.
Oh, okay.
Curtis, who does her the technical part, got Wirecast. And so with Wirecast, you can stream to multiple, however many you want.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, but you can do Wirecast. But if you didn't want to use that particular platform, you could still probably do something like Restream.io.
Mm-hmm. Barb actually mentioned that yesterday. I think it was the day before.
So you could use that, but it'll cost you like $30 or something a month thereabouts. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. Wirecast will cost you about there's a $400 version, and then there's a $600 version of Wirecast. Okay. I mean, but if you're going to live stream seriously, then and open yourself up to doing multi-camera and graphics and things of that nature.
I consider this serious. It's just simple.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that. If you're ready to do multi-camera, multiple audio types of high end
There you go. Yes.
then Wirecast might be worth the investment because you can do so much with it. But for the most of us, we're still doing quality content, but we're not doing 3-4 cameras and things of that nature. It's not necessary. So you're using StreamYard. I use Ecamm, which is specifically for Macs.
Okay.
For Mac
Oh, it's
computers.
good to know. Oh, okay. Okay.
Then there's OBS, which is
That's free. I've heard of that.
Something broadcast system, operational something broadcast something.
Open.
That's right. Open broadcast system, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
OBS. And I like OBS, but if you're really, really new to live streaming, it might go over your head a little bit. Just a little bit. But there's always YouTube tutorials. So
YouTube tutorials, and also you do trainings.
Oh yeah, I do trainings too. But for those that are really, really just trying to get their feet wet, something like StreamYard is good. Be Live is good.
Get Vocal is good.
Yeah, that one's good. I just was introduced to another one called 8x8 not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's relatively new.
And then there's the super old school Jitsi, which is European, and it's from back in the day.
Oh,
you can have countless people, like the old Google Plus Hangouts.
Okay, Hangouts still exists. They just folded into the G Suite, and they're right now until June, July. You can get it for free. You can still do your Hangouts for free. You don't have to pay for the G Suite.
Cool. But the other cool thing about Jitsi, which is really weird, I don't know if any other platform has this. If your internet connection isn't very good, you can actually take part by calling in.
Oh, wow.
You can participate via phone. We're talking old school. I mean,
that is old school.
Jitsi is like...
How you spell that?
Jitsi. I think it's... Wait, where's my phone?
JITSU?
SI.
SI?
Let me make sure. Okay. Oh, no, where is it?
Oh.
Okay, wait. I thought I had it on... Okay, wait. I thought I had it. Oh, there it is. Okay. It is called Jitsi Meet now. It was just Jitsi, and that was Jitsi. JITSI. Second word, MEET. And this is what the logo looks like. The one in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, Jitsi Meet. It's old school.
Wow. I just started using Cast over the weekend.
What'd you say?
I just started using Cast, that app you had. KS.
Oh, okay. Do you like it?
Oh, I do.
Okay. I haven't played around with it yet.
It's fun. We were watching the Clark Sisters movie.
Here's the cool thing about Jitsi is that every time you open, it's kind of like StreamYard in that every broadcast has a unique name. So with Jitsi, the room you go to is a randomly generated name. So no trolls. They don't have a troll problem.
Okay. Well, getting back to Zoom though, in the last couple of weeks, in the last 2 weeks or so, Zoom has had some issues with they didn't just start having these issues. They've always had these issues, but now that Zoom has become so popular, it's become more apparent or revealed that they have some data privacy issues, which is why they have this thing called Zoom bombs now, where people come into your Zoom session and just do disrespectful things.
So is it because the Zoom URL, when you enter a meeting, you post it for people to join, and then it's more easily found?
People share the Zoom link to people that you don't know, and then
that's
something that was set up in the way Zoom is set up made it easy for hackers to get in and just basically wreak havoc with your stream. And then it was reported that they were basically giving data to Facebook for a long time.
Okay.
So if you Google Zoom issues or Zoom privacy data, you'll see articles, and some of the articles will tell you what to do when you go on Zoom now, make sure to go in your settings and click these things so that you can
Oh, okay.
basically, make sure that you keep all the crazy, well, as much crazy as possible, out of your Zoom sessions.
Well, something interesting happened last week, or was it last week? I've lost track of the days. This coronavirus, I don't know what day it is. Hello, where am I?
It is
Am I really
Monday.
here? But I use, as you can see in the comments, I list the URL for joining me on camera. That's what you clicked on.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do that, I try to remember to keep it Facebook only, because I realize anybody seeing me on Facebook on the Durham Skywriter page, I probably know them for the most part, right?
Yep.
Tachi was on YouTube and she said hello, and I sent the link, and I was like, oh my God, and Alfredo warned me to remove that link, and I didn't.
Okay.
And a bad person
came into your stream.
Because with YouTube, anybody, I mean, you don't know who's following you necessarily on YouTube or who's going to discover. Because when I go to YouTube, very often I type in live now. Because I just want to know. I love extemporaneous talking. I like the excitement of what's happening right now as opposed to pre-recorded stuff. So I watch a lot of live stuff.
Yeah.
So anybody can do that. So this bad, this bad person found the show, and he said inappropriate things in the chat. But of course, I was too smart to let him come on the show.
Yeah,
of course.
Yes, so hold on one moment. There's someone creeping in behind me here. I'll be there in one moment.
Oh, well, I have to go anyhow. Because it's lunchtime.
It is. But it does happen. And we just have to be ready for it, as ready as you can be for it. And hopefully you can kick them out, Well,
the important thing is not to panic, because Alfredo actually panicked, and I was like, cool it. I mean, I'm not trying to be disparaging towards Alfredo, but as a Black woman, I've had trolls. Let's put it that way. So that's all I have to say. I've dealt with them already, and I've dealt with them for a while. So I don't panic. I know how to deal with them. Yeah. And with StreamYard, you can ban them or give them a break for, I think, 5 minutes. And then if they come back and they're inappropriate, then you can totally just boot them out. Which is what you do.
Yeah, because when I was when Blab was hot, and that was like 5 years ago now.
That was Troll City.
Yeah, it was Troll City, and I had a guy come in, but he played like he was going to act nice. So I saw him over to the side, and I said, "What's your question?" And he had a decent question. And then when I let him into the stream, he put a pornographic image into the stream. And the sadder part was I was introducing Blab to new people.
Oh my God.
So he made me look bad in front of company.
Oh my God.
But what he forgot was Blab is attached to Twitter. So I found him on Twitter.
He didn't know who he was dealing with.
No, he didn't. So I found his little butt on Twitter. And I took a screen grab of what he did in Blab. And then I sent it to him in a tweet. But then I used that Twitter hack where you put the period before the username, and then that opens your tweet up to everybody you follow and everybody they follow.
What kind of witchcraft is that? You do
that's an old Twitter hack.
You put a dot in front of what?
You put a dot or a period, and then you go at, and then the username. And then that hack would open up your tweet, not just to him or to her, but to all of their followers and to all of yours.
What?
So I did that, and I put the picture of his little pornographic image in my Blab session. And then I tweeted to him, so this is what you're doing. Do you feel good about yourself? Did you get the attention you wanted? And then he DM'd me, or somebody DM'd me, talking about, take it down, take the image down. My father this and my father that. And I was like, I ain't taking nothing down. You were bold enough to do it. Now suffer the consequences. I'm only 16. I don't care. Care about you being 16. You can learn this lesson now at 16 so you won't repeat it when you become a real adult.
Yeah, because a lot of young people don't realize when you look for work or you're trying to get a scholarship or whatever, they check your media, your social media.
Hello. So he was begging me, please take the image down. My
Hmm.
father this, and I'm
And you're
so
like, next.
and I, it was I was. It's like cancel Christmas. Whatever. So
Wow. Christmas is canceled.
it's canceled. You mess with the wrong individual, little person, little
Yeah.
16-year-old. I ain't taking
Wow.
nothing down. Sit over there and eat your food and deal with it.
Wow. Or as Pop would have us do, go down the basement and think about what you've done.
Well, yeah.
Then we hear the descent of those footsteps. So we knew we had to suffer the consequences.
Yeah. And then I sent it to one of those parent advisory groups that did something with online trolls. And I
Mhm.
sent that picture to some of everybody. And he was
He's, pro-
he was getting blown up.
he's probably suffering a menial labor job now with no chance of moving
That's
up
how
in the world.
he all right in the world. He's just fine. But I know what, next time you do that again, he'll think of me.
And he won't do it again because he didn't know who he was messing with.
No, he didn't. No, he
Hmm.
did. But
And
that's
with
something you have to think about.
and with that, thank you so much for being on the show. You're welcome to come back anytime you want, Alice. I know, and I feel bad that the show's on noon because that means I miss your show. I didn't think of that,
That's fine.
but I'll have to watch you on the replay.
Yeah, that's cool. That
Okay,
is
cool.
all right with the world.
Okay. Well,
Let me get
thanks.
off here while this phone is ringing.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was so fun, folks. Okay, so I do this every day here on Facebook Live from the Durham Skywriter page. All I'm going to say now is goodbye, and be sure to read Durham, North Carolina's online community paper, the Durham Skywriter, at durhamskywriter.com. If you'd like to come on the show, either just let me know or just know that I'm here every day, probably not on Sundays, but pretty much every day at noon on the Durham Skywriter page. You have a beautiful afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow.